technological crap of the day. StreamYard kicked me out of that one too. So we're up and rolling. We'll take a few minutes. I will edit this out and it will rebroadcast without this little chatter, because I'm just waiting for everybody to get back on the live. I've already deleted the old live, so hopefully, hey Prime Candy, Nikki UK, good to see you. Okay, we're getting there. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. So you guys, we're going to be talking about Lilly and Jack Sullivan, and why aren't people putting this together? Because it's not being put together. Like, I don't know what's going on here. I've been away because I lost my daddy. And so this weekend we laid him to rest, but my mind would wander onto true crime, and I would have to check out to see if Lilly and Jack Sullivan had been found, and I'd end up watching pieces of that and this and that. Hello, OKG. Hi, Debbie Gazzardo. Rach, not that Rach. We are live. Welcome to 1111 True Crime. Always real here. Always on the fly. We're on our backup system. Backup camera. Almost broke my headphones. So I'm just saying, we got to be diligent, right, to get to the truth. And we have to keep it real. And we can't just check the boxes because it looks like it fits. It has to literally make sense, logical sense. And when it doesn't make logical sense, you, me, and quite a few others, our 1111 family, check the BS meter, right? And we start checking it out. We're like, wait a minute, whoop, hold it. Because we recall other events and we can add, because, you know, we're critical thinkers. Thank you so much. Oh, let me fix that. Like, we're going to be doing things on the fly. There we go. SSD, Sharon D, thank you, lovely. 18 months as a starlight. Greatly appreciated. I hope that you're tuning in on Sundays at 2 o'clock CDD time so that you can check out our beautiful starlight world. We do dedicated builds for a lot of the victims that don't have a voice. We've done Jay Slater, Summer Wells, and next I'm going to be doing one on Sebastian Rogers. So that's something I want to build. But it's a lot of fun. It doesn't really have to do much at all with true crime. It's a place where your favorite true crime family comes and chats. So check us out on Sunday. It's absolutely fun. And if you don't want to be a member, but you still want to watch it, that's fine. You can watch it, and you just don't need to chat in the live chat part. We're sharing it with everybody because it's too beautiful for us to hide. It's a beautiful time. So, self-sponsoring, right? Get to the point, lady. All right. I'm so hot right now in this case. I'm hot because I've been watching this pile up like a train wreck ahead, right? Like just a pile up coming down the track, full blown with Daniel. Listen to me. I'm about to plug in the details that are going to make you question everything that Daniel, O'Grady, and Jamie are telling you because of what was said by Belinda, the beautiful, loving, supportive grandma, bio grandma of Lilly and Jack Sullivan. And that is that she claimed that Jamie, the step grandma, in other words, stepdaddy's mom, who was not supposed to be on property and was on property, red flag number 1. You ain't supposed to be there, so why are you? See, nobody's noticing that little slip up. So she has no reason to be there. She's supposed to be somewhere else, but she ain't. She just happens to be home the very time the kids go missing, but she points the finger at who? Everybody else. Okay. That's a red flag for me. I'm like, oh, shoot. You ain't even supposed to be on that property right then. I don't care if you own it or not. You're supposed to be somewhere else. And now you're alleging that Malaya had a look of worry and concern on her face, shock that she might have done something wrong. Or could she have been like, I can't find my kids, and what are you doing here? And all of a sudden that led to Daniel called as a mom. Something went bad with the kids, and she happened to be there. Never does it say that she was sleeping in that camper. In fact, we know through O'Grady, Grandpa O'Grady, that guess what? She was on the phone already at 6 o'clock in the morning. She don't seem like the type to me. I'm just saying, if you get up early in the morning, you probably would get some yard work done and remove a nasty-ass mattress from your grandkid's yard. But she didn't. So then, Janie gets in the ear of a relative, right? Like an earwig. And she's got Daryl O'Grady over here, and she's like, Darren, listen, blah, 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 blee. Or as Lucy would say, blah, 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 la-da-la-da-la-dee. Right? And then blah, blah, blah. Because whatever she said to him, he then is told not to share her name when he comes out and throws all this concept out and gets the internet buzzing like a hive of mad bees, all busybodying, because all of a sudden, the whole story has changed. Now it's coming out that Malaya has been at the end of the damn driveway. We don't get a time for that at first. No. We all have that moment of just being left in the dark at the time, and so there's wild speculation. And it's being put out there by this O'Grady that he knows in his heart of hearts that Malaya the mother has put these children in a car and that they're being picked up by someone prearranged, and that she had planned to get in her car with Meadow, but then she got caught. All right? Fine. Let's think on this for a minute. It really is questionable. Why is Janie on that property when she's not supposed to be there, number one. Number two, she alleges that she knows that boot print is fresh that's in the driveway. According to O'Grady, Janie said that, or he said she showed him the pothole that she had filled, and it was all fresh mud there the night before. And so there's the boot print. Okay. How come nobody else saw that? You know what I'm saying? Like, she may have planted that boot print. Unsuspicious of hell of her. Why? Why are you suspicious of her, Danny? Well, Mama D is suspicious of her because she refused to allow the RCMP to search her camper, and that alone is what? It could have been a neighbor that said, no, you can't search my property. You can't search my house. And I would have been like, what? But to find out that the grandmother, the step-grandma of these kids that is on the property is saying, no, you can't search it. I don't care what her excuse is. Put the dogs in the car. This is children's lives. But you don't want them in there. What do you got in there that you don't want them to know about? Because whatever it is, even if it's just rugs being made, because that looks like a mathematical lab, if you feel me, that could have led to the children. So here's the problem. Not only is she the one saying, no, you can't look in my camper, and they're saying, we'll have to get a search warrant, according to Grandma, Bio-Grandma, who I trust and think is wonderful. Okay, here's the deal. I told you I was hot. She's the shit stirrer with the spoon in this situation because she's the one behind what Daniel's saying and what O'Grady is saying. Darren O, whatever his name is. And they're the ones fueling everybody else online. So this witness that refuses, because she claims to have heard the kids that morning too, Isn't that interesting? So it could be the truth. Maybe she did hear the kids that morning. And maybe Malaya's telling the truth too, that she didn't hear the kids that morning. That she didn't lay eyes, or maybe she did say she heard them in the morning in the trailer. But somebody had to close that slider. And I think it was an adult. I think it was somebody that just, as an adult, you'd close the slider behind you. Especially if you're leaving with 2 kids. So here's the thing. It's being alleged that Jamie heard, according to O'Grady, Lilly making that scream. You don't think that scream would have woke up your son and his lawful wife or unlawful wife? I don't know what you call it. You don't think it'd wake up Malaya or Daniel? The scream that she does? They wouldn't be like, oh, I better check on the kids. They sound like they're outside. Because you know they watch them all the time, right? So it's the same person that won't let them search the camper that is on site that shouldn't be, according to everything we're finding out. Just surprise, I'm here and the kids are missing. So it's kind of like they're gone, but I'm here in place. Could that be to assist Daniel? Because Daniel that says he don't lie, lied. He cannot be in bed sound asleep with her and then all of a sudden they both wake up together and start looking for the kids because they don't hear them and be outside, right? Have Malia already outside and then he gets up and he's outside. And then, wait a minute, third story, as she comes back to bed, it woke him up. Wait a minute. No, Daniel, you're full of crap. You got 3 scenarios. Pick one, stay with it so we can figure out which one is the lie. Next, we find out, no, listen to this. Through O'Grady, allegedly, Malaya was at the end of the driveway at around 6 or a little after, according to O'Grady, who said that she knew the time, meaning step granny knew the time because she had received a call, right? I told you she was already awake just before that. So she knew the time at around 6 something. That's when the kids were being called into school. And Belinda, herself stated on the interview over on It's a Criming Shame. Give them a shout out. They're doing beautiful job. Thank you guys. Hats off to all of you. Charmaine and Sunny are doing beautiful. Okay, here we go. At 6:18, what are we hearing about? Making a call to the school. Belinda said she can't get reception on that property unless she goes and stands around the end of the driveway-ish. That's the only place she's getting signal. So could it have been that the kids were up, went out there, she made that call, I'm just asking, and went back in the house and the kids didn't, and she didn't give a crap? I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just speculating. Let the spaghetti hit the wall. Grain of salt, pinch of salt, right? Actually, it'd be over on here for me. And something happened to them kids where the grandma, step-grandma, knows more. Like maybe she wasn't there when Malia did this little call at the end of the driveway. Maybe she came in after Malia went in the house. Into her camper and find something that she didn't want the RNCPs. I mean, why weren't the dogs barking nonstop? Belinda said the dogs barked the entire time she was there without taking a breath hardly. You'd know somebody was on your property. Why weren't the dogs barking? Why isn't Malaya talking about the dogs barking when she makes a call? If she went all the way out to the driveway, it's probably going to trigger the dogs. But it's almost as if Daniel's mom wasn't there on property that she was inserted, but that she was there before anybody else. She showed up when Daniel's awake and Malea's out of it. I'm just asking if that's one way to work it, because Daniel sure is lying. Now, what about the beach thing with this mother? Why is she at the beach, you guys? What in the hell? Some of you are saying it's probably a hoax because it's so cold there that nobody would be on the beach in their swimsuit. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this? Hey, Unspoken Heart Stillness. Hello, hello. You say, is Daniel driving around in a car or is he on his tidy pink ATV? This is my... Oh, right? Because now he's also put himself on an ATV. And instead of just jumping in the car and looking all over the culverts and all that stuff, he's adjusted the whole story, the whole narrative, which adjusts the timeline. Not only is he on an ATV, but he's ran out to their little 30 seconds it took him to run out to their forts. Maybe 30 seconds. You know, it's because Daniel's Superman and he can outrun the helicopters. And Malea's on the beach. Is she on the beach? If she's on the beach, then what in the world is wrong here? Like, are they both spinning this like a DJ? What is going on? Okay. Lisa says, she's asking, also, why was the brother so upset? And a female saying to Janie, no one blames you, Mom. I didn't even know that. If that's true, I'm just saying, you don't let the RCMP search your home even though your step-grandchildren are missing. What in the hell? Why not? What you got to hide, period. What you hiding, period. Not question, it's a fact. Your grandkids, your step-grandkids, there are children missing and you're telling them no, Okay. They're saying we're going to get a search warrant. And you're still saying no. No. But the kids are missing. Woo! Jennyville, 44 months. You get a goat. You get the goat. I love you. I love you so much. Thank you for being there for me. And I'm so happy that you take care of your daddy the way you do. We truly love you here at 1111, and you mean the world to us. So, love you. Hey, Casey. Ooh, that four-wheeler picture. Casey says, I didn't either, but the photo I saw, he was relaxed on his four-wheeler. Didn't look like he was upset at all. Did it not look like he was cool as a cucumber? Like Mick Jagger, laid back with his whole style going on. He's got a shining piece of equipment that is glaringly clean compared to everything else there, including the broken pieces of appliances in the play yard laying next to the filthy mattress that reminds me of the Summer Wells case. And you can be poor, because I came from extremely poor property, but we were sanitary, and we sure the hell would not have had a dirty-ass mattress nor broken appliances looking like we had a hurricane come through today. Like, remember, it had been almost a year. So if that happened, that means that crap laid out there for a year. Yeah, these interviews. Okay, so here's how it works. Think on this, how wise and manipulative this is for me to see. This is how I'm seeing it from my perspective, my opinion only. That's it. You have to draw your own conclusion. Do your own research. I'm just saying, when it comes to this situation, here's the problem. We'll call him a suspect, in my opinion. So, sus is fuss because they refuse to allow their property to be searched. Okay? Also because they're not supposed to be there, but they magically are on that one moment when the incident takes place. They put themselves on the property even though they're not supposed to be. So that means they have absolute access. Next, we have to ask, what's being hidden behind the refusal of what's inside there that may have been dangerous or unsafe for these children that she basically did not want the, investigators to see, because that could have played a big part. If the kids went in there to visit said step-grandma and she wasn't home at that time, and that's why there were no dogs barking, and these kids got into whatever, and then they loaded these children into now what we know to be allegedly Daniel jumping into his pickup truck and just tearing off out of there and going for God knows how long. So, with all the lies that Daniel's telling, I can't pick apart Malia's statements because she ain't made any. Other than her whole, he ain't even looking for my kids, and yet she hasn't advocated not a drop for her children. And to me, that's just blatantly saying she knows. These people know what happened. Was grandma not there? Did the kids get into something that the step-grandma was trying to hide from the police, which may have had a bad result? You feel me? Because think about it. She's thinking she's there, so she may leave something laying around because the kids probably aren't allowed in there or something. But if she's not there and the door's not locked, there's no dogs, the kids get in there. Did they touch something like vent? Right? Just touch it. And they're both done. Okay? Daniel gets up, can't find the kids, finds the door open at the mother's, hypothetically, at his mother's, and finds them. Oh my God. Wakes up the baby and Malaya. Oh my God, we've got problems. Mom, get over here now. Right? Mom comes flying in. They call the school. No, they're not going to be here today. Whatever. I don't know. I just have a feeling that this whole narrative where she's the one saying, no, you can't come in my camper. No, you can't search it. Yes, I know these children are missing. Yes, I know they're my step-grandchildren. Nope, you're not going to look in here. I have dogs. No. Hell to the no, to the no, to the nay. It doesn't work like that. And then to be the one that's whispering in Daryl O'Grady's ear, and then have your son you're whispering into his ear, telling him the same story and him the same story, putting all of it on Malaya? Is that to get custody of that baby? Is that all that it's about? Is Meadow now getting custody? Because that seems like what that was about. That little stint you pulled that all of a sudden she took off to her lawyer with the baby and, oh, now you can see your kid. I'm not saying that Malaya is innocent. I'm saying I think they both had something to do with this, and I think they're starting to turn on each other, which is going to show over time which one breaks first. Somebody's gonna crack like an egg. I agree with you, Lisa. They all just trying to keep each other out of jail. Boom. You're so right. Should have got a search warrant. Too many lies. 2 beautiful kids are missing. They didn't even bring in cadaver dogs to search with. There have not been cadaver dogs used yet. I have so little respect for that concept, I can't even explain it. Right, Viv? That's right. Hey, Erin Lindsay. I agree, I agree, I agree. Yes, yes. Hey, Polly. You can't shake the feeling that everyone, including authorities, are waiting for this to disappear from the media. Well, it ain't going to, because we've got to have the answer. And the more pressure we're putting, the more they're talking. Oh, Grady's saying that the pressure's on so much that step-grandma may have to come out. She may have to do an interview. Yep. Because the pressure's on. People are throwing too much spaghetti at the wall. Come on, tell your side of the story. We'd love to hear it. Come on, Jamie. Tell us all about it. Because, we're here. Open ears. Explain to us. If you're going to come on, make sure and answer and have an answer ready about why you did not allow the RCMP, according to according to real grandma. She heard it. So why did you not want or allow, why did you refuse the RCMP from searching your camper without a search warrant, allegedly? Answer that for me. Right. Al wants to know this too. So do I and everybody else here. We got like 36,000 1111s that might not be watching this video right this second, but they will. And we all want to know where Jack and Lily is too, Janie, because it's looking hot. You came out of your trailer and saw Malaya looking all like, what? I said that was weird to have that little tag on there, how she looked like she was guilty of doing something. That ain't what you say if you're really, you would have been like, she had a weird look on her face. Because you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know where your grandkids are. You wouldn't know where to throw any suspicion. You wouldn't care about throwing suspicion because you love the kids. You really just want to know where they are. So you might say she had a puzzled look on her face, but the kids were missing. So that could be it too. That's not what's going down. No, it's the blame finger. It's the you did it, And I'll tell you, you could put me in a situation anywhere on this planet. Doesn't matter if I'm prepared or not. If children go missing and they ask me if they can search my property, the answer will always be a yes. Abso-freaking-lutely. Now, where can I sign up to help for the search, right? That's normal. That's what should have been happening. But red flags are all over because Jamie ain't even supposed to be in the house. She's come out and admitted it through all this somehow, allegedly, that she wasn't supposed to be there. So she's not supposed to be there. She won't let him search the house. 2 kids are missing, and they're throwing crap out here through Grady, hiding behind him for how long? Throwing shit at Malaya, who's not going to talk because she's all lawyered up. Another red flag. Right? This case is they've got to have had a plan that they're going to go different directions and just fight over Meadow, and somebody will crack because of it. They cannot go at this pace. And is Mom really at the beach? Was she actually at the beach smiling on camera? Was that real or a hoax? I have yet to find out. A lot of you are saying in Nova Scotia area, especially that Lansdowne area, that there's just no way anybody could be out there in a bathing suit because it's just too cold. I agree, seeking justice. Let me see if I can fix that so we can read it. Hold on. Got it. You said, seems both to blame. Then she says, my partner, Daniel, language seems to me she blames him more than laughed. More than laughed. Not sure. I believe Ruggs most probably since both kids are missing. And see, that's what I'm saying. If Grandma says she was there, right? It relieves the question, could the kids have gotten her trailer and got into whatever it was she didn't want the RCMP to be looking at? But if she weren't really there, because she wasn't supposed to be there and was really at her boyfriend's, then did the kids get up with Malaya when she went to the end of the driveway where Daniel probably saw her make the call? She went back to bed, left the kids out playing because neither one of them seemed to give a hoot about this stuff, right? And the kids went to see if Granny's home next door. But if she's not there and the dogs aren't there, did they get into something? And then they called in Granny. Granny comes home. And we're back at the Summer Wells case, where in the Summer Wells case, Candace, the granny that lived in a trailer, gave Summer a peppermint before she disappeared. Piece of candy. Okay. Just saying. Very reminiscent. What kind of items that were unsafe or illegal were in Granny's trailer? And I highly doubt, in my humble opinion, and that's all it is, that Janie was in that trailer until after Daniel called her and Nicole come home because something bad had happened. And it would have been about that time that they ended up calling the school, right? Leah probably had to go at the end of the driveway and call him in sick, right? And if they all three know, well, then Daniel would take off with the pickup truck and take him as far away as he could. They'd have to stall for time. Well, 10 o'clock is when we finally get a call. So if we back this up and think that the granny is already on the phone at 6 a.m. with someone, it would be before that. It could have been around 5 o'clock in the morning. It could have been 3 o'clock in the morning. We don't know. That they noticed the kids weren't okay. Hell, it could have happened the night before. They could have been, we never hear about supper. All we hear about is Daniel setting fence, chicken fence. What if something had already happened where them kids, what if there wasn't a fence between the two properties? What if it was just the trailers together like this with the fencing, okay? What if it was like that? After they got home from town being seen on the cameras, these two got busy doing something, whatever it be. And them two kids went in there while Granny's gone and got into something because there was no gate. So then that night, Daniel has to now make it look like the kids could not have gotten to that trailer, right? So now Granny would be home. Granny would come home even though she ain't supposed to be there because now she's got to protect that property that the kids couldn't have got in there, right? And then they three got their story. And it wasn't expecting, Daniel wasn't expecting Malaya to bail the way she is. And so now he's going to try to throw her under the bus as much as he can. And they're all three to blame, in my opinion. That's right. If she's not guilty, why is she remaining silent? Not only remaining silent, so what if she doesn't tell us any details at all? Advocate for your child. Get on that Facebook and put videos out there. Use your every piece of social media to just show your baby's face and go on these channels and don't do like Brandy did, right? In the Michael Vaughn case. She would come on and show her child's face. And yes, she'd be crying, but she'd be like, okay, I just want to get his face out there, okay? I can't do a long interview. I'm not feeling that good. Just here. I miss him. That was her. That was Brandy Neal, right? But we're not seeing that in these other parents. We're not seeing them at all. They're not advocating for this missing child. And if they are going to the beach, then we got Casey Anthony all over 2.0. And it's just, it's sickening. Unspoken says would have driven the ATV to avoid cameras on the truck's roads to remove kids. Could have been. That was awful clean. And we got no cadaver, right? And you could, I asked that. Remember my video? I'm like, why would Daniel, a country boy, not have got on the ATV? Because you can do the road, you can do the ditches, you can do all over the place. So you could do your, like, you could drive in the ditch along the way, most of it. All you'd have to do is know the logging trails, y'all. I bet they missed their mark when they missed all them logging trail cameras. There was a trail cam at KOA, campground across the street. Well, depends on what direction he went, right? I'm sure he could avoid it. What happened to Claire, hon? He's back home for now? What happened to Claire's son? His house burnt down? Oh, the puppy didn't make it? But the family is out? Oh, Claire, I am so sorry for you, love. I send your son protection and healing and love, and I hope that everything in the insurance works out, and thank God he's safe. I don't think that fencing looked like that the night before. I really don't. That's all new. It's all stacked nice and neat. And it looks to me like it was built different. I'm going to have to really look at the pictures of that fencing. I'll bet you that fencing wasn't like that. Because Daniel was setting fence, he says, allegedly, the night before. I bet he was changing that fence so that it was two separate pieces of property. And there would be a reason for that. Yeah, it makes me wonder if they wouldn't have gone across the street. But you guys, if he did put those kids, if he put those kids on a four-wheeler, it would have left their scent all the way down the road. I think he put those children in the truck. I have no idea. Julie wants to ask you guys, could Daniel have planted the piece of pink blanket and took his own sweaters? Yep, Janie said Malaya had taken kids to the end of the driveway. I don't buy it. I don't buy a damn thing that Janie says. In fact, she seems to be so sus to me because she's not supposed to be there, and she refused the RCMP to search her trailer, alleged by Belinda. So, and Darren. And then for Janie to be the one that's stirring the hidden secret spoon behind the whole shit stew, where you got Darren and you got Daniel, the two D's, the Daryl, and Daniel, all going out and getting all these people against Malaya, and we all were buying this false narrative that these children were just put into a car by their mother, by some relative. I bet you Grady believes it all, but I don't believe it. I just don't. If anything, I'm wondering if it could have been Daniel putting the kids that weren't okay in something. Like I said, no cadaver dogs. It's so weird, says Beatrice, that the RMCP listened when Daniel said they wouldn't have gone across the street, and they didn't really search that way. That's crazy to me. Okay, so now we have a different opinion. I don't know which, I'm not there, but Norcraft says Nova Scotia had warm weather for 2 days before a photo came out. Now, Norcraft, are you from there? Were you there to give that firsthand knowledge? Let me know if your firsthand knowledge, right? There are a lot of errors. It's a very frustrating case. Lisa S. says, I've been reading some about the relationship between the indigenous people on RCMP not being good. Well, and we're mostly aware of it, that there have been strife. But at the same response, this CPS person was not going to be removing those kids without a lot of documentation. So I just don't see the one home visit being enough, even though I am concerned. I mean, I haven't ruled it out. I'm not ruling nothing out, right? Open mind here. Huh. Norcraft says a photo of ATV shows a tote full of gravel. Makes Janie's story about pothole believable. How big is this pothole? I mean, I've heard of other people putting people in the driveway. How big's that pothole that you need a whole thing of gravel? If that's where the dogs stop, maybe they should dig. Wouldn't that be something? They dig up the driveway and find out? I've heard of stranger things. Osprey says so. Have the RCMP and forensics searched the trailer yet? Yes. I have to wonder why the RCMP thought it wasn't an abduction. Well, now they're saying they're not ruling it out, but yeah, you're right. You're right. Could they be in the barn across the street? Good question. Hey, Anth Williams. Hi, Mama D. Hi, everybody. Just a quick question. All right, everybody, we have a good question here. Why has there been no mention of the brother who lived with the mom on the property? So, yeah, we're finding out he didn't live there. Now he does live there. Then he didn't live there. Now he does live there. Right? It's distancing. It's something's wrong with this whole thing. It stinks to high heaven. He's seeking justice again, lovely. Yep, look on the satellite image prior to the property of the new photo. I seen those gaps. Trestle West did the same thing with the gate. Same story, same lies. And took bamboo off the gate too. Yep. I'm going to be looking at the pictures of that fencing. How new is that little section there? And bet you money that's all one property before that night, so that they could just share the kids in the trailer. But somehow, I bet you them kids got in there when nobody was there, and whatever she didn't want found may have caused what we are going through. Hypothetically, speculation, alleged. My opinion only. Like back in the 80s, Viv says, and before, if a crime happened to a ex-worker, it was just another pro, and why bother investigating? Oh, I feel you. That was true. We know if they bring in a darn cadaver dog. Yeah, they haven't. Go listen to Michelle Walks, right? She'll tell you, nope, they haven't. Lisa S. Hi, chickbait. Lisa S. says, being from the UK, I actually expected the police in the States and Canada to be better than here. I don't know, man. Truly shocking, right? Hello, how are you, Mark's World? Good to see you. Viv says, I didn't even think of that, Lisa. To be honest, I thought the world had moved on from that. Shy, guess not. All right, you guys. We've been on here quite a bit. I'm in the process of getting everything figured out, and StreamYards is now not working for me. So I am going to have to take a little bit more time to figure out how to do it all over here on OBS, because OBS is reliable. And I'm going to cancel my order to StreamYards, even though it was wonderful. But we'll still be able to figure it out over here and do it just as good without interruption. And so, sorry for the big boo-boo today. Did the dogs do something to the kids? Not both of them, really. I wouldn't think. They're not big dogs, I don't think. And I doubt dogs that know the kids are going to do that. I don't know. Hey, Joy Wing, hugs for you. Thank you. Thank you kindly. All right, my lovelies. I don't have an outro for you because we're on our backup system because maybe it's the heat. I don't know, but everything went absolutely wacky today. But that's all I have for you on the Jack and Lily case for right now. I'm just going to sum it up. I'm just going to say, first red flag is that she's on property when she's not supposed to be there, allegedly. Everything's alleged, in my opinion. Spaghetti at the wall. Speculation. Theory. But now we're being told by Belinda, the real grandma of, the bio grandma of Lily and Jack, that Janie, step granny, Daniel's mom, refused to allow the RCMP to search her trailer. Now we're finding out she's the one starting the whole rumor mill about seeing Malaya at the end of the driveway, which would, now she's saying, was about the time that Malaya would have been calling the school. Malaya's allegedly at the beach, not crying, oh no, big old smiles, so that's just super sus. If it's an old picture, then it's a hoax. I don't know about it. Nobody has been able to prove it isn't. This case is just, I feel like I'm going to come on here with curlers in my hair like the old grandma does and the little thing tied around my head. And I'm going to be like, I don't know. That's my new name. I don't know. Because it's driving me crazy. These children need to be found. Why would you not let somebody search your trailer if your grandkids are missing and you're there? All right? So don't buy all these pieces out there. Don't put the puzzle together yet. Keep asking questions. Why would somebody refuse to allow them in the trailer and then turn around and point at everybody else, especially Malaya? And Daniel's lied several times now. Malaya's not advocating for the kids. That's a big problem. Do they all four know what happened? I don't know. Just breaks my heart really bad. I love you guys. I pray for Lilly and Jack Sullivan to be found very, very soon. I'll get all the details worked out and get all this worked out so that we can have our daily show over on Mama D. Best of the day to you. And I will see you again soon. Love you.